All right, here we are in the shop with our first project. We're going to make a new handle for an old ball peen hammer. This ball peen hammer we found in the shop, and it has a very large crack in here. You see it's being held together by tape, but there is don't know if you can see that in here, there's a distinct crack right there, and that crack actually goes all the way to about here-ish. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a pretty long crack. And then, of course, as with all sorts of old farm tool hammers, it's being held together with a couple of nails. I can count 4. So we're going to take the old handle off. We're going to clean off the rust and all of the old patina off of this ball peen. As you can see, there's some rust damage there. There's some pitting there, and some more damage on the front and the old ball peen, you know. So we're gonna clean that up, and we'll see what happens. One thing I like to do is find old things, obviously, and use them again. So I went to a store where it's basically salvage and repurposing stuff, old wood, and building supplies, things like that. It works for the Habitat for Humanity, so you're getting decent materials at a cheap price, and you're helping out a good cause as well. This is an old stair banister spindle, obviously. I've got a couple there that I picked up. I think I got this one for $4, but I think it's about the right size to use for the ball peen hammer handle, so we'll see what happens. Okay, the first thing I want to do to make sure that the old spindle, now the reason why I use these old spindles is because they're made out of hardwood and they've been around for a while, and usually they haven't been beaten up too badly, unless, you know, the dog's been chewing on them, or there's whoever owned it before replaced the banners because it was broken, whatever. But most of the times they're torn down because they're just old. They've been there for 20, 30. This one looks like it was from the 80s, maybe the late 70s, given the design. So it's just oak. It's great oak. It's still in great condition. It's been, of course, under the varnish seal for its entire lifetime. So really all we got to do is, sand that off, and we can repurpose it into a hammer. Now I've got my trusty calipers here, and we're just going to make sure that it's actually going to fit properly for the hammer, because it's no good if we choose a piece of wood that's just not right size. So what we want to do is make sure that everything sort of fits properly. So that'll be, and a quick readjustment, and we can see that that's the width of that. And again, it's going to be really good no matter where we actually use it from. So what we're going to do now is we're going to strip the old finish off of this, and then decide how much of this we're going to use to replace the old ball peen hammer handle. Now we just take it over to the vise, and you can see I've got a little bit of rubber tubing here cut so that it just sort of protects the wood from the steel, so that it doesn't make too much of a mess there. And then we've got some old bands. It's like an 80 grit sandpaper. And just work the old finish off. Anyways, I didn't go all the way to either end because I wanted to make sure that you didn't think that I was somehow substituting the two. But there you go. There is the original spindle. The original finish on there, but this has all been obviously sanded off. We're not going to do all of it. I mean, we don't have to do this because we're not using that. We're actually going to cut that off to fit the length of the handle or the hammer. So anyways, there's our nice piece of oak. Been all cleaned up. And yeah, we'll later on stain it a different color as soon as we get to the end of it. But for now, that's all been prepped, and we'll be ready off to the next step. Here we go again, the old nails and stuff in there, and of course the rust and the patina. Now we are going to get rid of this handle, so what we're going to do is lock it in the vise and give it a beheading. So let's do that.